Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be talking about the new Jumpstart commanders. So there's going to be a bunch of new commanders that are coming with Jumpstart. Some of them you're going to be able to run as just like, a monocolored, given the fact that Jumpstart are monocolored, but some of them you're actually going to be able to run as a, dual colored deck. So, we'll talk about some actual examples as we get down to them, but because of the way that, the actual cards are printed, technically you can use them in a monocolored deck, not in commander, but because they use the split cost in the like abilities and stuff, you're able to use them in a dual colored, and in fact they have to run a dual colored deck. So I love the way that they've kind of utilized this to be able to increase the, add some new commanders and stuff to essentially, for a new product that wasn't going to otherwise be kind of, very useful for commander players. So let's get into it. We're going to start out. Now, I have gone through and I've edited it so that way the actual new ones have the new label on them, and otherwise they won't have it. So we've got a reprint here of Adeline, which is a really, really great reprint. If you didn't love Adeline before, that anime art is just amazing. Burgoyne is a new one here with Heroic and Vigilance, and whenever you cast a spell that targets her, you put a +1 on her, and then you can tap, remove a +1 to draw a card. Brimaz with the new anime art there too. Danitha and Giada with new anime art. Similia, the poet here, which is a new artifact, a new enchantment commander. So mono white enchantments, if you want to run that. Whenever you cast your first enchantment each turn, create a 2/2 white nymph enchantment creature token. And then at the beginning of each combat, if you control 5 or more enchantments, he gains +4/+4 and gains lifelink until the end of turn. We've got Carla up here as a new white commander too, Ajani's Pridemate, based around gaining life. So gaining life buffs her up, and then buffing up your creatures as you attack with her. Third is a Pegasus Unicorn Horse commander. Whenever you cast your first one of any of those, you're going to copy it, and then all of the Pegasus Unicorns and Horses that you have get +1/+1. Erden here with counters, and whenever you attack, target attacking creature with a +1 gets first strike. If that creature has 2 or more, it gets double strike, and whenever he enters, you get to put a +1 onto something. Now onto blue. So we've got Sinnet over here as a new commander for essentially kind of like flying tribal. So when she enters or dies, you're going to create a 1/1 blue jellyfish creature token with flying, and then creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. We've got Naban here, Dean of Iteration. So this is one of the things that I actually had a disappointment with this, like the anime art in this. Some of them are absolutely amazing, right? Like absolutely badass for the existing characters I'm talking about. And then some of them, it looks like they've just kind of run an anime filter over it. No offense to the artist or anything like that, but I think that it would have been better to kind of do a different, like a different angle or something. So if we have a look at Naban, I actually had it up just before. You can see it's like the exact same art, except just animafied, which is just, I don't think it shows off the artist's skills as much. So we've got Nerdiv here, Devious Diver. Whenever she becomes tapped, target player mills 3. And then whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard or activate an ability of a card in your graveyard, draw a card and put a +1 onto her. I kind of wish that she had like black as well, so she was Demir. Padim, Console of Innovation here. Artifacts have hexproof, so this is obviously a reprint here. See, this is the one that I like. Like, Padim, if you look at him at the moment, he's just got his big buff head in the screen. But this one here is quite different. Like, it's different angle and stuff. Plagon is a new one here. When he enters, draw a card for each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. And then you can pay either white or blue to give target creature you control the ability to assign their combat damage equal to their toughness rather than power. This is really great though. This is the one, like one of the ones that I was talking about, where they've got the split cost down here, right? So he has blue-white, which means that technically, if you run him as a commander, then your your whole deck can be blue or white. You could technically run it as just blue if you wanted to, but you can have that option of running like blue-white in there too. We've got Paul Jamar here as a new one as well. When he enters, choose a creature type, draw a card for each creature you control of that type. a new version of Psymaster Thopterus, Sir Eleanor, and then Tycho is another new one here. So he's got hybrid blue-black, so you can run him in a Dimir deck if you wanted to, and he's a Ninja Turtle. He enters tapped, and then whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it didn't die, scry one, put a +1/+1 onto him. And then whenever he attacks, you can pay either blue or black to give a target creature unblockable. We've got Thrix and Venser here with new art too. So onto the black ones, we've got Ophelia Viper Whisperer. So she's a like Gorgon/snake commander, which is really interesting. So she's got Death Touch. Whenever you attack, you can pay 1 and either black or green. So you could run her as a Golgari commander. If you do, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch, and then you can pay 4 and a black until end of turn. Whenever one or more Gorgons or snakes and you control deal combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. That is really cool. And I love the art of her. Oh, it's just great. We've got Evereth, Viceroy of Plunder. So she's a vampire soldier. I'm actually surprised she's not a vampire a pirate with that name. She's got flying, and then you can sacrifice another creature or artifact to put a +1/+1 onto her. If it was a treasure that you sacrificed, then she gains lifelink until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. And then when she dies, you can pay 1 and either a black or a red. So again, you could run her as a Rakdos commander. When you do, she deals damage equal to her power to each opponent. So if you get her really, really big, right? You get her up like, you know, to 20 somehow because everyone's leaving you alone for some reason. You can kill her off with, you know, something else, or someone else kills her. And then you just pay 1 and a black and a red to deal damage. The great thing is you can use this as a threat. Are you going to remove my commander? Well, guess what? I'm going to pay this 1 in a black and I'm going to deal this damage to everyone, and it's going to be your fault and everyone's going to hate you. And, you know, you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror later on. We got Fumalus, the Infestation, a new insect commander who works alongside leeches, slugs, and worms as well. Whenever a player sacrifices a non-token creature, it doesn't even have to be just you, anyone sacrifices one, you're going to create an insect creature token with flying. And then whenever an insect, leech, slug, or worm you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We've got Gorax with new art, Izareth with new art, Nazar, the Velvet Fang here is a new one. Menace, when you gain life, put a feeding counter on it. When he attacks, you can remove 3 of those counters to draw 3 cards and lose 3 life. Really, really simple. Really, really nice. We've got Ozox, the Clattering King. He's freaking awesome. So he can't block. When he dies, you're going to create Jumble Bones, a legendary 2/1 black skeleton creature token with it can't block. And then when he dies, so that token dies, you get to return Ozox to your hand from the graveyard. Really cool. We got Rev Tithe Extractor. When you attack, target creature gains Death Touch until end turn. And then whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure. Then look at the top card of that player's library and exile it face down. You can cast it. So it's a theft commander that also creates treasures on top of that. You could technically deal damage to 3 different players with it. You can also give your stuff Death Touch, so it's less likely they block. Deal damage to 3 different players, create 3 treasures, exile something from each person's top of the deck. Tabarak's got a new art there, Villas got a new art, and Veto got a new art. I love this Veto art. I love it. I need this Veto art. All right, into the red, we've got Anep, Vizier of Hazaret as a new card here. He's a Jackal Warrior. Trample, when you exert, you can exert him as it attacks. When you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your turn, you may play those cards. See, this is... I don't know about this one. I don't think I like that one. I don't think it's great. We've got the Brothers Yamazaki, got new cards, both of them. Really cool. Cleon, Merry Champion's a new one here. Double strike. Whenever you cast a spell that targets her, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until end of turn. General Crete, a commander for goblins. Whenever 1 or more goblins you control attack, create a 1/1 red goblin that's tapped and attacking. Whenever another creature you control enters, deal 1 damage to each opponent. So like it's a combination between creating a goblin whenever you attack, but also got that impact tremors ability on there. Gornog the Red Reaper, though. This is So cool. So it's got haste. Whenever one or cowards can't block warriors. Now you might be thinking there's barely any cowards out there, but whenever one or more warriors you control attack, target creature that player controls becomes a coward. So you can make, and it attacks a player. So you can technically make 3 cowards per turn, but it says becomes a coward. It's not becomes a coward in addition to their other types. So technically you can just remove people's like, tribal tags and just screw up their tribal decks, which I hate personally because I absolutely love my tribal decks. But this is going to be hilarious. Attacking warriors also get +X/+0, where X is the number of cowards your opponents control. Evora is satiable heir. Whenever she enters or whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token, and then whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 onto it. Lathla's got a reprint. Rionya, Fire Dancer got a reprint there too, as well as Zada. I love that Zada art too. Into green, we've got Brolios, the of Feros band. So his toughness is equal to power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. And then whenever he attacks, draw a card, and then you can put a land onto the battlefield. Really simple, really easy way to be able to ramp up and get a big commander. We've got Dionysus, Elvish Druid, Archdruid. Whenever elves become tapped during your turn, you can untap them and then put a +1/+1 onto them. Golta is just a new art that just looks really cool. Herska Sweet Tooth. Have you ever wanted to play as Pooh Bear? Well, now you can. Whenever it attacks, create a food, and then whenever you gain life, you may pay green-white. Whenever you do, target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained. Kadama of the West Tree got a reprint, and Mowu got a reprint as well, which is absolutely adorable, and I love it. Shrewford Sproutshire got a reprint. Is a new one with essentially like, you got lifelink. It's like Saprolink. It creates Saprolings based off of dealing damage, combat damage to someone. Slinza, the Spike Stampede, a beast commander, an actual beast commander. Your beast costs 2 less. Each other beast creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1. And then whenever it or another creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, you may pay 1 and either red or green to have Slinza fight target creature you don't control. That's really cool. That's going to go into my Wolverine deck. And then we've got Sutina, Speaker of Tajura. Whenever it enters, search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. And then whenever it attacks, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. Whenever you do, put +1/+1 counter on target creature. And then we've got Averna of the Chaos, Averna the Chaos Bloom here, which is a reprint as well from memory. And I just think I've missed putting the reprint tag onto that. Yeah, it's a reprint. So let me know which one you guys think, or like which ones you like the most. I've got a Shrewpus deck that I'm toying with at the moment because it's freaking hilarious. There are so many cool ones here though. Let me know which ones you guys are most excited for, whether it's based off the art or based off of their abilities or whatever. I hope you guys had a great day and goodbye.